righty, boys. We are back and we are live. Love saying that. And, gentlemen, we got a gift today. It's always a real treat when the baseball gods are good to us and there's some breaking news on the day we're going live. It makes the show prep a lot easier. So we're going to get into this very deep, but let's just kind of put it out there right now. The Phillies signed their, we're going to assume the starting right fielder, Adolis Garcia. We got a right-handed bat, a guy that can potentially hit 30, 35 homers. We'll get more into that. Guys, what was your initial kind of knee-jerk reaction when you heard this news?
Knee-jerk reaction, kind of excited, right? It's a name we've seen in the World Series, like you said, hitting Jack. So that makes you very excited because there's a little bit of upside there. So definitely a little bit excited at first when I saw it this morning.
Yeah, it's something different, Not completely running it back, and this definitely means the end to the Nicky C time here in Philly, whether that's a trade or they're just going to bite the bullet and just cut them loose.
No, for sure.
The unofficial end of it today.
The unofficial, that's a great way of putting it. And honestly, look, this isn't going to be a unanimous consensus loved pick, right? Because, Slim, you just mentioned it. He's not the player he was in 2023 based upon his last 2 years, right?
No.
What is he? He's better than what we've had, and especially on defense. But let's not get too crazy here. Here's the lineup for today, folks. And if you are here with us, welcome back. It's good to be live. I love saying it. Hit that subscribe button, please. Hit that like button, please. You know it helps. This is our lineup for today, Red Riders. We're going to dive deeper into the Adolis Garcia signing. After that, we're going to talk about this JT Realmuto saga, boys. What's going on here? I'm getting a little nervous. I want to see how you guys feel. And then we got a nice little Mummers Parade feature. So we're going to interview our guy, Bones. He's going to give us all the inside scoop on the Mummers Parade. The guy's been in the Mummers for as long as I've known him. So we'll talk about that. And then we're going to end with probably the most exciting part of the segment is the Red Hotline voicemails. We got a ton. I think I counted like 25 voicemails we got. We picked like 6 of them. So we're going to go through the best voicemails and keep those coming because they were awesome, and we'll do that at the end of the show. All right, boys, let's get to business here. So Chris, you said your piece. Bones, I want to hear from you. Give me your full Garcia reaction.
So, like I said, it's definitely a change. Right? We're not completely running it back, so I like it in that way. But then also in the back of my head is this could be one of them Dave Dombrowski signings that hasn't worked out. We had the Whit Merrifield 2 years ago, last year with Max Kepler, and it's all these 1 year for $10 million deals, and it's just hopefully it works out. I think there's more upside in this one than the other ones because they were a little older, and Garcia has a little more pop in his bat, like you said.
Right.
And he just might need a change of scenery, too, being out in Texas, where things maybe were going stale for him there for a little bit. But he was still productive. He had 19 homers, 75 RBIs. But there is a high strikeout rate there.
Yeah.
But it's another right-handed bat. It just scares me that this could be that platoon situation again at some point if it's not working out.
Slim, I saw you shaking your head over there. What do you got?
Solid. By the numbers, 2.7 WAR. That's pretty solid, especially compared to Kepler, who was at, I think, 0.1 all year. And same thing with Castellanos. They were barely breaking the 0-point mark on the WAR. Bones reference, it does feel like it's one of those deals again that falls into that platoon range. The Phillies have historically signed guys between $5 to $10 million. A list of those dudes that now includes Garcia is Kepler. Romano was no good. Merriweather was no good. Strom would be a good one. Craig Kimbrell, no good. Brad Hand, D.G. Gregorius. The list goes on and on. Aaron Harang, way back there. David Robertson is another name. But none of these names are really, really contributors when it was all said and done. When I look at Garcia, he's going to have the same issue that Kepler had. And what am I talking about? It's that platoon action. He's going to have not Middleton. He's going to have Topper putting him in and out of the lineup as he pleases. He's not going to have the opportunities to eventually feel as comfortable as he wants to unless he comes out super duper hot. And unless he's playing consistently, I don't think we're going to be sniffing 25 home runs from Garcia. Because I don't see a place where he plays over, I don't know. I don't think he plays 110 games or anything along those lines.
No. So, first of all, Slim, your camera looks phenomenal this week. I want to give that a shout out. Number
Thank
two,
you.
that hat is phenomenal.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I want to start there because those were honestly distracting, those two items.
Yo, I got to shout out the hat. I had a family brunch yesterday, and my younger cousin, big baseball dude, player over at University of Delaware, Sam, he has a little entrepreneurial spirit. He handcrafted these hats. That's his company, Winning, WINNY. He does hand custom hats. I told him, yo, after you start making a little bit of a few bucks, I said, Slim will throw you one free advertisement, but after that, you got to start paying for the ad space like everybody else.
Nothing's
But we'll do a little charity for him there. He's up and coming. It's good stuff. It's a beautiful hat.
It's a really nice.
Is that a rubber? Is the Phillies logo? Like, is that rubber or is that sewn on?
No, it's stitched. It's stitched.
Oh, okay.
It's a stitched on patch.
Yeah, I got a hat. It's not that, but it looks like a rubber. It's like the way it sticks out. Looks like it's like a rubber piece.
Yeah, it's a little lightweight too.
And we got a wild chat already, guys. We see you, wild animals. And we got JR saying, got the Pedro Cerrona via Major League is now a Philly. Yeah, Cuban guy, right? And honestly, the Phillies do not have a lot of history with Cuban players. So this is kind of exciting to get one of those in the mix as well. But I want to go back to what you were saying, Slim, because to be honest with you, this is interesting because I thought the inverse, because we don't talk when we have a show that day of. We don't kind of give all of our inside baseball, right? We keep it fresh for the show. I thought Bones would have been a no on this, and Slim would have been a yes. The reason is, Slim, you're a big defense guy, and the guy's a great defender out there, right? So we're getting a plus defender with a rocket on his arm. So I love that. Now, listen, he's not the 2023 guy, but to kind of highlight what Bones said, the ceiling is there, right? Kepler was a hard guy to get excited about, right? It was kind of like he played meaningless baseball for the most part for a lot of his career. The ceiling for Garcia is, from what we saw in 23, a top 20, top 15 or so guy.
Yeah, he's not the 23 guy though, right? He had 19 home runs last year, 25 the year before, and that run in 23 was fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong. This is why he's so much better than having a guy like Max Kepler, is because if we get into the playoffs, you remember last August and September, we all started, when it's playoff time, you start seeing the best of your players, or you at least hope the best of your players. And if you're hoping for his best, that maybe he can give you 7 to 10 days of cranking homers, which can win you a series, which Kepler was never going to offer. But the real elephant in the room is, if he's playing right field, Castellanos is playing right field. No one wants Castellanos. We saw the rumors about the Royals. We're trying to get rid of them, and nobody even wants them still. So we currently have $30 million tied up in Castellanos and Garcia, which, I mean, that's Schwarber numbers, So that's a huge, no fault to Garcia per se, but it's just that position is just a black hole for us when it comes to value impact.
Well, let's talk about that contract, and I'll let Bones be the first one. Honestly, $10 million, I'm not hating on that number for him.
No, and last year I was dead against. If you remember, I was dead against the Kepler signing from the get-go. Like I said, it was 5 years too late. This one, last year was the first time this guy really didn't play most of the season. He played. Right. He played 135 games, but years before that, the most he missed was like 17 games. So he's doing that in what's that? 27 games.
Right.
So missed off the season. So we're
4 homers or something like that.
Yeah. So.
And I can't stress it enough that I think Texas has somewhat of a little dysfunctionality going on there, and the fresh competitive vibes and Citizens Bank Ballpark should all be pluses for Garcia. The only problem is that's not really talking too much about his own self. It's more about his circumstances.
All right, so before we move on to talking a little JT Realmuto, I want to kind of get in the mind of the front office, right? Because anytime I see a move like this, especially a move that's not what I would call a slam dunk, right? It's going to be a move that's going to have a little bit of scratching their head because Garcia is not a unanimous pick that everybody's going to love. So what do you guys think was the factor that the front office, when they saw him and they said, you know what, this is why we're willing to take a chance?
Well, I think one thing is he's been in the market for a little bit. Right. This we brought him up when he got released a little while ago. You said you don't recall, but Bones was pro Garcia then, and I was still a little iffy because it's been, like I said, 2 consistent seasons of him getting worse and worse. So I think he was probably sitting around, didn't get any offers, and then he came to the 1-year deal. Another make it or break it deal, and that we kind of and the Phillies kind of live in that zone. And
well, from the Phillies standpoint, though.
Well, they just did it slow. They let the I would say they let it play out.
Okay.
They saw that he was still sitting there. We weren't rumored to be involved, from my understanding, and then next thing you know, we have him. So I think it was just doing business, moving in silence, as the OGs say.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave Dombrowski just crawling, behind the scenes. Everybody's talking about the Schwarber market, the Realmuto market, and he's just back there playing, looking, probably trying to work the deal for Castellanos, and then come across this. What do you think about signing this guy?
Right. No, that's a good point. And JR in the chat just read my mind. This is kind of where I was going to allude to. So JR says, time to earn your paycheck, Kevin Long. Fix Garcia's swing. And that's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking from a bare bones standpoint, from the floor. You got a guy who's a very good defender with a very good arm. And worst case scenario, Kevin Long can earn his paycheck and increase those offensive production a little bit. So that's kind of the flyer I'm thinking. But time will tell. Hopefully it's not Kepler 2.0. JT Realmuto. So there's been some rumblings in Realmuto. Now, nothing official, right? But there's been some rumblings going on in our DMs, people saying that Realmuto's got a 3-year deal out there potentially, and right now what he's doing is just playing the game of trying to get the Phils to come up. Whereas I feel like the inverse is what we were thinking, right? So, Slim, we start with you on this. Number one, what do you think of that? Number two, are you getting nervous on the Realmuto?
I am getting a little bit nervous, and I'm starting to think about what does it look like if we have just an absolute black hole, 9th-hole hitting catcher, and it's something I don't want. It's something I really, really do not want. I'm okay going to 3 years. I'm not okay if this is pushing over $45 million. So I think that becomes the push and shove. I'm not trying to pay him $15 million a year for the next 3 years. I'm not. I can front load it. Or I can backload it, but I don't want to give him 3 years, 15. It would have to be closer to somewhere between 12 to probably 13 or something along those lines. But I think $45 million for 3 years is when I am out.
And you've been pretty firm on that for months now. So
yeah, I thought we would have signed them a long time ago.
Yeah,
I thought this deal would have been done 9 months ago. And I'm not sure how, and it seems like they got the upper hand, just like Schwarber kind of got the upper hand where he went and did his thing. And now it looks like Realmuto's doing the same exact thing, and it's just up to Middleton and Dombrowski to do they want to risk that many years and that much money?
Right.
Yeah, I'm dead against giving them the 3rd year, and I said that from the jump. If we give Schwarber the 5th year, I don't want to give Realmuto the 3rd year because them are just giving these old guys the extra year when we're going to be stuck with them eventually.
But he has us in a terrible spot because we can't have Marchand and Stubbs. We just can't.
Yeah.
Well, then you turn the mirror around on both of you. So you just said he has us in a terrible spot. We can't have that. So the question you have to ask yourself is, am I willing to get one extra year of Realmuto that may or may not be productive to avoid having musical chairs behind the backstop for the next 2 years?
Yeah, I think you got to do it. I think you lost the negotiations, and you're yes.
All right, so
But
you're
it
saying
doesn't
you
feel
don't
good.
want to do it, but you think we probably should do it.
We have to, right. We have to do it.
That's
right.
fair. That's a good
where I'm
distinction.
at.
That's a good distinction. And you're a hard no, Bones?
Yeah, I'm a hard no, and I think maybe Dombrowski's maybe working on something if this goes another way.
Right.
Where he has something in place right away where we're trading for somebody.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is if worst case scenario, we have an expensive backup catcher that's also a big mentor in the clubhouse in year 3 of the contract, I can live with that, right? It's not like we're talking about a guy who's a potential clubhouse headache or something like that. This is a guy whose culture checks all the right boxes. So yeah, maybe we're going to lose that battle. And go ahead, Slim.
But here becomes the big problem. We understand there's not that many right fielding, right hitting bats. We understand there's not that many good catchers out there. But now we're putting money into it. It's like putting money into a bad car.
True. Yeah.
Or a used car.
All right. So anything else you want to get off your chest on Realmuto? That's the hot topic right now.
If he's looking at between $13 to $15 million a year for 3 years, that's basically the same conversation. We brought this up before that Bader's trying to have, and Bader is still out there. He hasn't been signed. If I had us signing Realmuto over 85, 90%, and I had Bader under 5%, I probably had Bader over 6% now, and Realmuto still kind of holding steady.
All right, so you guys know I like to end the segments with the kind of spitfire questions. Over under, Garcia, 23.5 homers. Bones.
Over.
Slim.
Under.
Is Realmuto coming back, yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Damn. And we got JR in the chat saying that's over. Smash. And there are some ballpark.
Take the money and run.
There are some ballpark factors as well that are favorable to Adolis. El Bombi is what they call him over there.
Yeah, a lot of ifs with Adonis. I mean, I like it, but
if I asked you what El Bombi meant, what would you have asked? Would you have guessed?
Electric.
Damn, you would like it's bomb. The word bomb.
El bomb.
That's not the answer. So I confirmed with my wife, who obviously speaks Spanish. She said it does not mean bomb. It's just probably some just type of term of endearment that they shortened. So for whatever that's worth.
First Cuban player in the Phillies lineup since Tony Perez, 1983.
Yes.
No, really? Damn, that's a nice little fun fact.
Regular starter, I guess.
Position player.
Yeah.
Okay. Starter.
All right, so let's get over here to this. You ready for your interview, Bones?
Sure.
Let's get over to this Mummers Parade. So, guys, we've talked about this a lot in the past. So, Bones is the president of the Downtowners, which is a Mummers club, right? So, the Mummers is coming up on the 125th year. So, what we wanted to do, we wanted to spend a little time and give a little feature here and talk about the Mummers because it's one of the proudest and richest traditions in Philadelphia. So, Bones, just give me a little bit of a background for someone who does not know what the Mummers Parade is. What is it?
So it's the oldest folk parade in the country, and it was just voted the number 1 parade, holiday parade in the country. I think they won that for the last 5 years or something. I seen just with this voting thing but it's the 125th parade coming up. 1901 it started, and it's 5 divisions. There's the comics, the fancy clubs, the wench brigades, the string bands, which are like
Music.
the face. They're like the face of the mummers, I would say. And then my division, the straight fancy brigades.
Okay. So the Fancy Brigade.
I would say the fancy and the strings, right? Because you said Bones, it's the oldest folk, and that's mostly with the string music, I would say. You guys were obviously everyone's in traditional costumes. That's the biggest signature of the event, right? Is the costumes everybody's rocking,
Yeah,
and
but
the
like the string
famous.
bands, they're like most worldly recognized. Like they've been to Rome,
Mm.
China, different parades over there. They perform for the Vatican,
Oh wow.
and everybody knows like the big guy, and that was Bob Shannon. He was captain at Quaker City for like 40 years or something like that.
Right. And then the
He was like
parade,
six
obviously,
nine.
on New Year's Day, right? So that's the
Yep,
big
every January 1st.
January 1st every year. So what is the name of your club?
Downtowners.
Right. And was there anything a distinguishing factor that you would talk about your club that makes you guys different than from some of the others?
Um, so going back to our history, we were like one of the first clubs to build floats on the street
Oh wow.
to where like the one year they built like a giant pirate ship, and this is back in I think it was 1971 when they did Buccaneers. They had a giant pirate ship, and
Right.
they were like one of the first clubs. The guy that did it, our founder Bill Isaacs, he was uh, like a game changer when it came to the parade, and I think we started our first parade was 1960. We originated in 59, 1960 was the first parade, and they won their first parade in 67. So as like a younger club, it's
Oh
pretty
wow.
good.
Yeah, that's great.
For
They,
64, they won first prize.
they were pretty instrumental in the float access
Yeah.
aspect of it.
Yep.
Okay, and then how long have you been in the parade?
This will be my 29th parade.
Wow.
Yeah. So my first parade was 1998. It was actually the first year that the Fancy Brigades were in the convention center.
With that first year? Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
and you've been with the downtowners the entire time.
The entire time.
Okay, awesome.
So my dad started out. He was like a marshal. He like drove the truck. He worked with a guy. Um, asked him to drive the truck for him for New Year's Day. I was like, yeah, sure. So drove it for a couple years, and then one year, him and my brother decided to join. That was 1997.
Hmm.
They finished. They got second that year. They did a pirate theme, which was
Yeah.
just talked about, but that was another one. They built a bigger boat bigger pirate ship that year, and then in 1998 I joined. My
Wow.
first parade. Me and my other brother, Vinny.
All right, so a couple quick questions here, and Slim, I'll let you fire some off, Adam. So you mentioned earlier that you're the president of the Downtowners, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think people realize how much goes into running a club.
Yeah.
So why don't you give us a little bit of an idea? You don't got to get into dollars and cents, but obviously I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's a big financial outlay, right, for everyone involved.
Yeah.
So tell people the time that goes into preparing for the parades and also what you do on an annual basis.
So when people say this is like 365 days a year, it's 365 days a year. I mean, the bills don't stop. Like we
Right.
have our clubhouse, which got to keep on going, maintaining that, and then
It's a lifestyle.
yeah, and it's our dues start like the parade is January 1st. Our first payment is due 2 weeks after that for the next year. So we have to have people like quick changeover to get people back, and then we do
Right.
like new members like 3 weeks after that, and then start in February. That's when the themes we get going on picking a committee to vote on the theme. By March, our theme's
Right.
picked, and it's constant money in, money out.
ahead, Slim. Do you want to?
It's a $250,000 business.
It's a $250,000. All right. So he basically is running a business, a small business. And then the other thing I want to just quickly say here, and we have a question in the chat for you, is the time commitment of preparing for the parade. What's that look like?
So after we pick a theme, it's a lot of meetings, just to get like a concept of what you want to do,
right?
And then putting that concept to paper, and then getting sketches drawn for costumes, for floats, and then agreeing on all that, and then giving it to a costumer to build it, and then the members to build the float aspect of it.
And then you're practicing.
Practice starts in like August for some groups, all the way through to up to New Year's Day. There's changes,
right?
Because we don't drill with the floats all year. Once we get in the convention center, we could drill with our props and stuff. So if we see something we don't like, it can get changed on the spot.
Right. Okay. So yeah, this is an annual business with months and months and months of choreography and dollars that gets invested. And JR has a question in the chat here. Talk about the Downtowners Clubhouse, and also if there's any other perks of the club that you want to talk about.
Yeah, so we're right off we're in South Philly. We're like one of the last clubs off of the Mummers Row, 2nd Street. So we're on Snyder Ave, and we're right across from like two popular bars there in South Philly.
Right.
And we bought our clubhouse in 2000. We've been there since like 01.
Okay.
Like in there. So we haven't been there all 60. We've been around since 59. So this is our 65th parade or 66th parade.
Right. It's a beautiful clubhouse, beautiful bar upstairs, like beautiful, like, sports bar level bar. You can they rent out the hall for different events, right? So it's the real deal. Slim, what do you got for him? Then we'll close this down.
So I just want to ask a quick couple questions. One, can you spill any of the beans on the controversies when it comes to how the Mumbers get the order that they perform in at the convention center? Because we know if you go number one, it's hard to win. If you go last, it's hard to win. Is this done randomly? Who's doing this picking? Is there any gaming of the game? Is this rigged?
No, it's not rigged at all. We do something every year. It's like this year we did it was the last Sunday in April, and we have an envelope like picking thing. If you go first the year before, you can't go first consecutive years, so you're left out of the box. And then they do it in order of finish. So if you finish first, you're the first club to pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after that, and then just goes from that.
And
in order from there.
I've been down on 2 Street or 2nd Street for those non-natives, and I've seen you bust a group to a ton of songs, and there's 2 that stand out. And I want to know if you had what's the better New Year's Day song, Shout or Kesha's TikTok?
Shout. Easy.
Okay.
We were going at it with Shout last night.
At
our party, yeah.
I remember you guys all going crazy for Kesha back in the day.
All right, so final question on that. So you are a 2nd generation mummer.
Yep.
What are the odds that we're going to have some 3rd generation mummers coming with your little army?
So they go out. My father-in-law has a club, the Brysons. They're in the Wench Brigade.
Okay.
This is actually it's his family that runs it. It's actually their 50th parade. And with America's 250th birthday coming this year, their theme is Tanks for the Memories.
Nice.
For their 50th year and America's 250. So be on the lookout for all the little Boneses and the Bryson.
Is this their first year?
No, they've done it for the last
Okay.
couple years.
Okay, so they're already third generation mummers and
Yep.
act awesome. So
Yep.
there you go. That's exciting stuff. If anyone is interested in joining the Downtowners, reach out to Bones, reach out in our DMs, whatever. He'll take care of you. And root for the Downtowners this year.
Yes.
If you're a fan of the red corner, you're a fan of the Downtowners. So let's go. Let's get a big year.
Yeah, we're going up second this year. So if you want to catch the show, it's 5:00. That's the Judge show. There's also an 11:30 show down at the Convention Center on New Year's Day.
Slim and I will
available for both.
Tickets available, and you can watch it stream. Slim and I will be down there. All right, boys, let's get to these voicemails. All right, let's get to the red hot line. Right, so we just rolled this out this week as our first one. This is very exciting stuff. So we posted that number that you see below, 215-690-1418. That's 215-690-1418. Leave a message in the future, and you can come on the show. So this is the red hot line. So we had about 20 or so people call in, and we've filtered it down to 5 or 6 calls that we're going to talk about live on this show, and then the best one's going to win a prize. So boys, start going here.
Yeah, let's hear them.
All right, let's pull this up. Let's start off with our first one, and this is from our boy JR.
Red Corner Boys, what's good? It's Sean Russell 215 from Twitter. Hoping to be the first caller on this new hotline. Great idea. We got to get everybody to stop getting their heads too big. Can't have a team full of $250, $150, $300 million contracts wanting to fill every single spotting start on this roster with a star player. Players like Brett and Doyle need to be thought of. 26, 27 years old. High ceiling, low salary. Gold Glove winner. That's the type of people we need to fill in. We need to find cheap alternatives with a high ceiling to make this roster complete. Have a good day, boys. See you on the gram.
Thank you, brother. What do you think, Slim?
Oh, I like the idea that a lot of Philadelphia Phillies fans, we want the world. So we do want we know when we look at the bare bones numbers that we're not going to hit $400 million, or we're not going to hit a $400 million roster.
Right.
So we do got to start looking for cheaper outlets. I'm all in for Doyle. Okay, I do like Doyle. If I had to compare Doyle to Bader, give me Doyle all day due to the age, due to the defense as well. I know Bader was a stud on defense, but then due to the contract.
And
the years and the price. We know Bader, like we said, he's in the same conversation with Realmuto. But here's my question to those savvy Philly fans who want to save a buck or two. Would you, JR, be okay with letting Realmuto and Bader both walk, getting Doyle for center, and then trying to figure out a cheap, not good option for catcher? Right? So how would you feel about that? Because that would lead us basically with Doyle batting 8th, Marchand batting 9th. And then how does that look for us as a team? That's where it gets kind of scary for me. I don't know. So I'm still, like I said, I'm still bare bones. Bring back Realmuto. I'm pro getting creative and bringing in a center fielder that way. I think our option, we still have Crawford too, right? So it looks like Crawford's the leading horse here.
Right. I think the Chapman. I knew I was going to say it once with the Adolis. So the Garcia signing makes that a little bit interesting, right? Because I think the center field is basically Crawford's job to lose, and then he could slide to left field if we get Doyle. The Doyle thing's interesting for me because the big narrative that's going on is how much he's struggling in 2025. People have pointed out, rightfully so, on Twitter and internet in general, that Doyle suffered a real big tragedy where he lost a child in 2025, right? So that obviously threw off his mental and threw off his year. The second half was, he not great, right? His year in general wasn't great. So I think as far as athleticism and the upside that he has based off his age, he's 25, 26, versus Bader, who's probably, 30, 31. I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it compared to Bader, but are you fine with it compared to Crawford? Because I don't think we want Crawford in left field. I don't think we want Doyle in left field. I agree with all your points. He had the tragedy occur, and then he's playing in Colorado, and they're losing every day. So that's
Right.
hard enough to stay focused. So where are you at with all that, Bones?
So if Realmuto is not to come back, which I don't think, there's these rumors about Bader, the Phillies wanting Bader back. So
Right.
I think they would bring him back because of that attitude he brought to the team from July when they made that trade on. So I would love bringing him back. And you got this Doyle, like his playing out in Colorado, right? They stink.
Right.
So these numbers could be inflated. I don't know his home splits. He is controllable where on years on his deal, but I want to. They're in the win now mode, right? And I think this. I think if the Phillies need a leader if they're going to lose Realmuto, and I think Bader can be that guy.
And just to reframe the question a little bit, when we're talking about money to spend, I think a lot of people saw the 1 year, $10 million deal today for Garcia, and they scoff it off because we ran through the list of misses. So someone like JR might still think that's a good deal, but I think he's talking about the contingency of the fan base who rather us made a bigger splash instead of like these 1 year, 10-year deals, or these 1 year, $10 million deals.
Well, I hear what you're saying on the scoff, and I'll kind of close the point on Doyle. Well, let me ask you this question. Right now, is Garcia the front man to bat cleanup?
I would say so.
Right? So I feel like the reason I say that is I feel like the expectations are higher for him versus Kepler, where Kepler was like a we'll see what we got here guy. I'm not saying I'm 100% confident that Garcia's going to be your cleanup guy, but I would say that it makes the most sense right now. Right?
Yeah, well, if he's batting cleanup, he's striking out a lot. I don't see how he's protecting Harper or Schwarber.
He's protecting him from the sense of the fear of a power bat behind, right? That's it. And then wanted to go back on your comment on Doyle and the home splits. Home splits are better, but that's no surprise at Coors Park, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go to the next question here because we got a few to get through here. That's a good one. Thank you, JR. Let's see here. Next question. This is our buddy Johnny Baseball.
What's up, guys? It's Johnny Hunter, a.k.a. Johnny Baseball. I just wanted to ask if you guys could pick one player around Major League Baseball to build around, put him on the Phillies, build around him. What would you guys do? Who would it be? And that's just about it. That's all I got. But I also wanted to say Merry Christmas to all three of you. Love what you guys are doing. Keep pulling through. We love it. Have a good one. Appreciate you. Later.
All right, man. If I could pick one player, thanks for the question, Johnny Hunter. Always interacting. You're the man, dude. Thanking. Merry Christmas to you and yours as well.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
If I could pick one player in all of baseball that's not Aaron Judge, I think I would go with Gunnar Henderson over in Baltimore. Henderson or Bobby Witt Jr. I think they're my two.
Okay, so you're going fantasy where you're not considering.
No, I'm just talking about if I could pick and going fantasy, I can plug those guys at shortstop and then move Turner out. Yeah, I'm going full blown fantasy if I can snag a player.
That's a funny question. Was obviously which one player will we pick to build around Bones? I would have to say Acuna, right? Right-handed bat. That's the right-handed bat that would just fit perfectly behind Harper. So I think that's probably the safe answer. If I had, I think Bobby Witt, as far as like the absolute value, I love that guy. That can't go wrong with that pick. What do you got, Bones?
Yeah, I would go with Bobby Witt, and I really would go with Acuna, but he is just injury prone, man.
Yeah.
Guy can't stay healthy.
Right.
Yeah,
but that's the right-handed bat we need, man. Like, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And we're not counting Ohtani.
Right. All right, so we got an interesting comment here from Jerry in the chat saying, I'm not sold on Crawford. Bring back Kepler. Interesting. He started to turn around at the end of last year. I'm not sold on Bader. He's played for 7 teams over 10 years. So you don't see a lot of bring back Kepler guys. So shout out to you, Jerry, for kind of standing alone on that. Where are we at on that, Bones?
Nah, he stinks. I wouldn't bring him back for $2 million.
Yeah, and they said as much, too, that he's not coming back. I'm with you with not being sold on Crawford, but I'm sold that he's going to get all the opportunity in the world to get that. And this is something that the caller, Johnny Hunter, clued me in on early last year, but get that ground ball rate into a more of a fly ball rate. And if he's able to get those splits done, we're going to have a fantastic player. Some people think even with his ground ball rate that he's going to be fast enough to maybe make some of these throws kind of tough here and there. So we might be seeing a guy who gets a couple infield singles. So I'm not sold on Crawford long term. I'm sold on him getting all the opportunity in the world. And I think it's a cheap shot at to say Bader played for all these teams. Everyone says that all the time. I think it's kind of low. When he gets the opportunity, it seems like he plays pretty well. But opportunities are to come by.
But we'll keep an eye on that, Jerry. If Kepler has a big bounce back year, because so far this is the year of the bounce back. Slim, you talked about this.
This is the bounce back. Yeah, he might go. For him to bounce back, he would have to go back to he would have to have one of those Miami Marlin bounce backs, I think.
But now remember last year we had the 3 guys: Joe Ross, Jordan Romano, and Max Kepler. We needed 3 bounce backs, and we went 0 for 3.
Wow.
So we'll see what we can do this year because we need a bounce back from Garcia. Let's move along here because we got a couple of goodies coming up. This is from our boy George. Let's see what George has.
Yeah, this is George from Fishtown. What do you guys think about the Phillies running it back? That is go.
So what do you think about the Phils running it back? I don't know. That might not be the best day for this question, right? Today might not be the best day for this question. What do you think, Bones? The question is the Phillies running it back.
That one, they're changing it now with the Garcia thing. So, and like I said, to me, I don't think if they go 3 years with Realmuto, I don't think he's coming back. So that wouldn't be running it back.
All right, so if whatever you want to call it, they won 96 games last year, right?
Exactly.
Or are they going to win more or less? So if it's running it back, that kind of means we should be right in that 96 range. Do you guys believe it'll be pushing 90 over 96?
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
How is that tied? How is that tied in?
It's all the same players. You're expecting the same value.
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying if we're running it back. I thought you were saying the amount we win determines if we run it back or not.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying if you think we're running it, if you think we're running it back, you should expect us to have about 95, 96 wins again. The big changes so far looks like it's going to be right field with Garcia. Looks like it's going to be the loss of Suarez. It looks like a new center fielder. It looks like a new left fielder, and we're looking for another pitcher, maybe Andrew Painter. So all that little movement, does that get us to stay around 96 games, or are we looking at lower? Is running it back keeping us on par, or is it now putting us below par? That's my question.
I got you. Bones.
I think it would. They're getting older, so and Atlanta is going to be better. You can't. It's a year by year thing,
right?
It's not going to determine who. And I don't care if they won 96 games. I don't care if they won 106 games. They won one game in the playoffs, and that's the only game it's the only one that matters.
I feel
right?
And how do you feel now with the addition of Garcia? Does it
I
still
feel better
like
than I did last year because he's a better player than Nick Castellanos.
I feel roughly the same, to be honest. I'm hoping more hoping that Kevin Long can get to Crawford more so than even Garcia. I'm hoping some of these youthful pieces can be that run it back remix that I've talked about. Garcia, low risk, high reward.
Don't you feel a little bit better about the precedent and the highs that he's had in his career relative to Kep?
Yeah, well, relative to Kepler, 100%.
Yeah.
Relative to Castellanos, I feel like kind of like your point with Brandon Marshall all the time. When we get back to these great, unbelievable pitchers in the NLCS and World Series matchups, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to know how to pitch to them, I feel like. So I'm real nervous there, you know. But then with that said, he might just get hot he might stink all year. And I know come August and September, I'll say, hey, this is what we're paying him $10 million for. Hopefully he can get hot for 7 days here or 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever.
Right.
But I'm not getting my hopes too high. Okay. Because it's a lot of hoping, I think, with Garcia.
Yeah, I think the Garcia thing puts us in the exact position we were last year in the sense of it's not a full year commitment to this guy. What this is it's a flyer, and if he's good by the trade deadline, you stay with him. If not, you try to make a move, just like we did last year. I think that's what it is.
But we got stuck with Kepler last year.
We got stuck with Kepler last year because obviously, well, first of all, he almost got DFA'd. So what do you mean we got stuck with him?
So if Garcia is not performing, you're not going to be able to trade him.
I'm not saying you trade him. I'm saying you trade.
So, all right, you bring something else in. Gotcha. My thing is, you said if he's batting fourth, I think him and Nick Castellanos are fairly comparable. I know we're talking about the defense, right, being the difference, which is all good. But when we're talking about the batting order, if Garcia is batting fourth and he's similar to Nick Castellanos is not a productive for a whole hitter, as we saw. And I think those two are probably a little bit closer than we want to believe.
Yeah. I mean, from an OPS standpoint, last year, Garcia has stunk the past 2 years.
The truth comes out.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has. I mean, the numbers haven't been good the past 2 years. So, I'm looking at the box score. I'm trying to see something else. You know, he hasn't been good. We're hoping for the fresh coat of paint. We got breaking news here from the chat. JR says re-signed. Braves have re-signed infielder Ha-Sung Kim to a 1-year, $20 million deal. Jeez Louise. All right. Let's move on.
You go in there with a mask? Jesus Christ.
Yes. Bonzi in the chat here. Let's see what we got here.
Right corner. It's your boy Bonzi calling in about the Phillies jumping into the Japanese market. I'm hoping maybe we can make a splash and get Tatsui Imai. What are we thinking here? We got to get in the market. We're already late, and it's time. Time is now. As John Cena said, time is now.
Nice John Cena reference at the end there. So Bonzi's asking about Tatsui Imai. And so speaking of John Cena, he just retired, right?
Yeah.
Yes, lost his lip match last night.
Saturday.
Oh, he put Gunther over. All right, so shout out to John Cena, whose grandfather actually played for the Phillies. Do you guys know that? Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, John's grandfather. We'll follow up with a social post about it. I read an article about it. John Cena's grandfather played for the Phillies. Actually, there's a whole a very controversial story about him. He was a veteran, I believe World War II veteran, served, lost his job, and then he came back and sued the Phillies for losing his job over that.
Losing his job at second base?
I think he was a first baseman.
He lost his first baseman job, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Tony Lupian,
that's right. So shout out to him.
That is awesome.
All right, so back to Tatsui Imai. Slim.
So I'm 100% in. We've been putting the resources in. We've never really turned the corner and gotten one of these guys, and now's the best time. We know that it's starting pitching talent. We want the depth. We want the versatility. With Ranger Suarez leaving, he's going to get close to $30 million. We just saw Merrill Kelly with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I don't know who he re-signed with, but he got He went back to the Diamondbacks, and he stinks.
Well, he
stinks.
wasn't on the Diamondbacks last year. So he was previously with the Diamondbacks. Just to set the record straight there, yeah.
100%. He's been someone who's been abroad. He's been someone who's been around the league for a minute, and now again, I think he's getting. Did he get 40 million or did he get 50 million for 2 years?
40.
He got whatever. He went in with a mask on and robbed them. My point being, we can refurbish, we can get younger, and we can add basically 2 great arms. We can get Ime.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can get him for under $25 million. I think we can get control for multiple years, right? 4 to 5 years.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then if you can lock him up with Andrew Painter, with Gage Wood, right? Now you have an entire new flow, replenished flow for your starters in the 27 and 28 after Wheeler, right? You have 4 guys right there. You will have Sanchez, Ime, Painter, and Wood. And that's a pretty good look come 2028.
Yeah, what is this talking about signing Ime?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm all for it, and I got caught by a fake thing today on Twitter.
Signed him.
Yeah, it was down to the Phillies and Mets thing.
Okay.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm dug deeper into it, and it was all BS. Got my hopes up for a little bit when I was hungover. But yeah, I'm all for it. And dude, he wants to beat the Dodgers, right? We're the team to beat the Dodgers.
Correct. Yeah.
If he's then that's
last
the character we want.
Would you rather have Ime or the third baseman Okamoto?
Ime.
Because then Okamoto could probably back cleanup for you and be legit. Much more legit protector in that situation than what we have.
I feel like the pitchers come over here are better than the bats. Like outside of Ohtani.
He's both. He's a pitcher and a bat.
Yeah, but he's the man.
Yeah.
But I feel like the pitchers are better coming over here than bats.
Who's the best recent one? Suzuki, I guess.
The thing that stands out with Okamoto, though, is his extreme consistency, man. He's like, I'm not going to say I'll say it. He's like a Lance Berkman or something. I was about to say Albert Pujols, but Berkman popped in my head. He seems like a guy that has decent power, that knows how to hit. And he's just always going to give you just consistency, man. He's a little bit older. He's been doing it for a minute. And it seems like if there's going to be a Japanese player who can hit decent, be a pro hitter right off the bat, it's going to be Okamoto.
So speaking of the Japanese hitter, just got pointed out in the chat that by JR, Munitaka Murakami, based upon his signing period, he's got to make a decision by 12/22. So we're going to know about Murakami before
tonight.
Christmas. No.
12/22.
Yeah.
Well, we're live now. I don't know if you guys saw the New York Stock Exchange is going to be 24/7 soon. So, Murakami, he's a guy who had a huge year, but then recently has faded off. He's younger, but they believe that once you tap into his potential, that he can have huge homer years. To where Okamoto is older, and like I said, more consistent.
100%. And then we'll go on to the next question here. But I've been saying this all along. The Japanese market is a cheat code, right? It's a cheat code that the Phillies have not been able to take advantage of at all. It's a complete. I think at some point it'll get regulated more, to be honest.
And imagine we could get two or three of those guys, because like you said, it's especially with how much you can get them for. You can get a pretty cheap deal. The rates are only going to be going up, especially for these pitchers.
Yup. And then Ime's closing period is January 2nd. So, so we're going to have Bones win the Downtowners are going to win January 1st. And we're going to sign Ime the following day. Let's move on to the next question here. Are we seeing Wood this year? First of all, pause. Second of all, Slim, what do you think? Gage Wood, we're going to be seeing him this year.
Oh, are we seeing Gage Wood this year? I'm actually going to say no.
Okay.
I'm honestly going to say no. Because I think we're going to try to develop him as a starter. That's my bold prediction.
Yep. Oh, okay. So slow play because okay, all right. I think that's probably right. What do you think, Bones? I think it's probably right that you won't see him this year. I'd love to, but what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think so. And just the Phillies aren't that team that goes out there and pushes dudes to like fast track them to the big leagues. You know what I mean? And we've seen how they played with Painter after his injury. These, especially now with the way, especially Wood with the way he throws the ball, um, it's not good for them. Let them develop.
And right, and with him developing, and this is kind of meaningless, but not really. We know that Crawford, Miller, and Painter, their time in the minors, their value as young prospects is basically up. It's time for them to come to the pros and produce to where when people see Wood dominating the minors again, you're going to see him skyrocket up all these charts, and he's going to become the new bell of the ball.
Yep, that's a good call. Guys, a lot of good chat activity. So if you are new here, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button and hit that like button because you know it helps. I think we got a little bit of I think this is some fake news in the chat. This guy, Christopher, saying that Bo Bichette signed to the Tigers. I try to confirm that. I don't believe that is accurate.
That would be fire, though, if it comes through in a few minutes.
Yeah. So he's saying that the 8 years, $250 million. Oh, he's saying his sources expect this to break momentarily. So, hey, man, if that turns out to be correct, Christopher, we'll give you some kudos. But I'm not seeing it. Let's see here. Let's go back in the chat here. So we have, in all seriousness, why are we putting all this hype into Painter? He's been hurt for essentially 2 years. What has he shown that warrants this hype? What do you think, Bones?
He's the best prospect that we've seen, homegrown prospect, Phillies pitching prospect that we've seen since Cole Hamels. We haven't had one, so I think that's where all the hype comes in because they haven't had this talent,
right,
in our lifetime. Anyway, come up through the pitching ranks.
And yeah, the talent is undeniable. The stuff's undeniable. Once you can throw a ball so fast and have things working off it, you should have a pretty high floor. His injury, you're saying 2 years. Well, last year he was bouncing back from the Tommy John, and we saw he gave up a lot of home runs. You get that under control, and I think he can be a phenom. He's a player who I still think we could have used last year in the postseason out the bullpen. I know we didn't want to rush him. But yeah, we'll see what happens this year. But no, I'm still, in all seriousness, I'm putting all my eggs back in the Painter basket.
Oh, for sure. I'm allowing myself to get excited about that. We deserve that. We deserve nice things, right? So let's try to be positive about that, guys. Let's move on to chat. Keep it coming. Let's move on to the next voicemail because we got some other goodies here. This is from Shane.
Yo, causes Shane from Mullica Hill. Quick question about what guys your go-to treat at the Phillies game is. I'd like to go with the hot dog with some spicy mustard. You know, I know Slim there likes to go with the burgers, turkey burgers. Just a question about what you guys like to enjoy. You know, thanks.
All right, so that's from Shane from Millica Hill. Based upon the way that voicemail sounded, I don't know, Slim, is he taking advantage of some of those dispensaries over there?
I don't know. It sounds like one of my boys I used to go to Reading Phillies games with, and we used to get what we call the Churger Burger burgers, and that was a chicken patty, a cheeseburger combined. So that must be one of the OGs. I'm not sure if he's talking about Citizens Bank Park, but right. I know you can get those Churger burgers over at the Reading Phillies games.
Okay.
I always love those treats. So that's a deep cut from the OG.
Yeah, I don't know if he was someone that we hung out with at the Citizens Bank Park and you saw you eating a burger or something. But yeah, man, thanks for calling in. And that guy, he sounded like a surfer or something from from California. I don't know how many surfers there are in Mullica Hill, but shout out to you, Shane. Thanks for calling in, brother. Let's move on to our next one, then we'll kind of fill up some more chat stuff here. We're a little backed up on the chat. So this is from Harry.
Is Painter going to be in the starting rotation at the beginning of the year?
All right, so Harry asked, is Painter going to be in the starting rotation at the beginning of the year? Why don't you start out with that one, Bones?
Who was it?
Is Painter going to be
Yeah, Painter will be in the rotation come out of spring training.
Okay. All right, Ray out of spring training. Cool. Full
Yeah.
send. I'm with Adam then. And if that's the case, guys, I said this before. I slipped up. I'm going to jump on it right away after the show. But the Andrew Painter cards, last year we were looking at them. They were super duper expensive. After last year, I think right now is probably the time to buy. I wouldn't be shocked if they're $75 to $100 cheaper than what they were last year. And he's going to have the opportunity if he comes in like a flamethrower. If he is starting and he is healthy, he could make the All-Star game.
To be honest, Slim, I don't know anything about cards just like you do, but your logic there is pretty damn sound, right? Like,
it's
like that. He does seem pretty damn to buy. I legitimately might buy an Andrew Painter card because I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
We're gonna be the two idiots on eBay outbidding each other, raising it friggin' $500.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the chat here. So, because we had a couple of good ones here. So, just from our boy Jerry, I know that they are not interested in signing Suarez, but they need his 10 to 15 wins, especially since Wheeler is not guaranteed to start. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that a lot, Jerry. What do you guys think if you had to assign a percentage that he's coming back with the Phils? 5, 10, what do you think?
I think, there was recent rumors, right, that they got brought back up again.
Yeah.
One of those things, like Schwarber, like Realmuto, maybe he doesn't get the number he likes and he comes back home. And we're like, hey, we didn't want to give you these years, but we will. So I'm going to put it at 6% chance. All right. So that's not too bad. And if it gets done, I still like it at about 5 years.
Okay.
Less than one.
Less than one.
All right. And then we got another quick little comment here from Shane in the chat. Is Kim really worth double Garcia? It's an interesting point. Listen, we saw what the Rangers told us about Garcia, though, right? Because they didn't tender him a contract. So obviously that tells us where they value him. But yeah, I mean, it's not double the value of Kim, right? So I'm with you there.
100%. And Kim, we're talking about he played for the Padres last year.
Yeah, it was traded to Atlanta.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Then he got traded, and then he did this re-signing for 1 year. That's insane.
Yeah.
That seems totally insane. I don't know what the Braves are doing, but they do not scare me whatsoever.
Balloon deals. All right, guys. What do you think? What do you think was the best voicemail?
The best voicemail. Good.
So what you pick?
I like Shane from Mullica Hill. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good one. And all that winner, that's my winner is Shane. What are you thinking, Devo?
No, I think Shane from Mullica Hill is the winner. So we'll follow up. So congratulations. If you are and this is a good little opportunity for us to plug ourselves. So, pause. If you are following us on Instagram, go on there. Make sure you send us a message. Let us know who you are, and then we will send you a prize. So we'll send you a prize there, Shane. Congratulations. Anything else, boys? Anything else? I know we've been going long here.
No, so far there should be no surprises so far. I'm waiting for a nice surprise. I think we're gonna get a nice little gift.
Yes, and this is
Wow.
nice little context here from JR in the chat, always bringing the heat here. He's saying from a fantasy standpoint, Kim was rostered 8 to 10% of all leagues. Garcia was 7 to 80% in all leagues via Fantrack. Yeah, listen, I mean, Garcia is a good defender, man. Here's the deal. You can suck. I always say you can suck at one of the two. You can't suck at both, right? So at least Garcia is always good on the defensive side. You got that going for us.
We might have to get a little red corner fantasy league for the season going. We got to figure what that looks like.
We have, and then by the way, you both failed.
The reminders, I'm about to look at my.
On that. So there's two reminders. So no, you didn't fail because you were going to do it. I'm guessing you were going to do it, Slim.
I was just about to do it.
Okay, all right. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So we have two big announcements here. I only remember one, so whatever I say first, tell me what the other one was. We got a 5K coming up.
Right? Yes.
So we are doing the Phillies 5K, and we have our own team, right? The Red Corner Running Club. If you go check on the redcornerpod.com, that is the redcornerpod.com, you will find the Red Corner Running Club shirt. Do us a favor. Grab that shirt. They're nice. They are legitimately very nice. And they are only like $25. And here's the deal. We get $0.00 from them. All net proceeds of the Red Corner Running Club shirt goes to the Pink Elephant, which is a Philadelphia nonprofit that benefits those family members that have been impacted by addiction. So this is the deal. The date of the run, I believe, is the 21st of March.
Yes.
The 21st of March is a Phillies 5K. You have to sign up for this run early January. I think it's January 6th. Thank you, Bones. January 6th. So make sure you look out for the Phillies 5K. You could sign up January 6th. Myself, Bones, and Slim will be running. All three of us can use a fitness motivation thing right now. We're going to be getting in, we're going to be getting in good shape for this, boys. Get our cardio up.
Yes, sir.
Enjoying the run club. What was the second update I had to say, guys?
The second one is we just booked our season tickets. We got our ticket package in there.
Right. So the Red Corner boys, as long as with the rest of our crew, we got our ticket pack. So we're going to be in left center field, running it back all year. So you can see us, and the same rules apply. You come over, you say hi, Slim buys you a beer. So at any point of this season, if you see the Red Corner boys in our seats, come over, say hi, Slim buys you a beer. Slim, how many beers did you buy last year?
Honestly, I'm not even going to mention it on here, but my total bill at the end of the year is something I now have to budget for with my financial advisors, with my wife. It was not cool last year. It wasn't cool at all.
It wasn't cool last year. And Jerry
didn't include ice cream.
It didn't. Right. We will be having tons of videos, Jerry. We're both training. I'm at a cool 313 right now. So I got to get down to like 280-ish to finish this run.
I haven't been on the scale in a while, but I'm definitely on my career high for weight too. So listen, we're gonna lock in. This is a positivity thing. So join the Red Corner Run Club, and let's do this.
I'm pumped.
I don't know about pump, but I can't wait to get out there on the concrete and do some running.
Right.
You guys will feel it. That's for damn sure.
All right, close it down. What are your closing thoughts, boys? Bones, what do you got, and then Slim?
No, just my schedule is going to be hectic the next couple of weeks. I talked to them about it. I think I got one more show in at least. Maybe can do some other ones.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But if I don't see you guys, Red Riders, out there before the holiday, enjoy your holiday, and I'll catch you before New Year's, though. A little before that.
My closing segment or thought is I don't think the moves are done, but if we were to run it back with what we have right now, with the young crops coming up as the remix, I believe the Phillies are still the second best team in the National League and still a top 3 team, top 4 team in all of baseball. What sucks is the timeliness of the hitting. but we just had a series with the Dodgers where we literally outscored them in the series. It stinks. It becomes hard, right? But this is the problem good teams have. I hate to bring it up, but it reminds you of those Andy Reid Eagles, right? They never got over the hump. We let Andy Reid go. I'm not saying Topper's Andy Reid. No, he's not. But this team has the very same vibe. I think we hold them together. I think they can push through.
Love it. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Tonight was a lot of fun, and really, sincerely, thank you very much for all the support that you guys give us every week and throughout the year. Obviously, we have a big time commitment with this, but you guys put a lot of time into the show, so thank you for that. Thank you for everyone who comments. Thank you for everyone who likes anything, and really thank you for all those voicemails because they were hilarious, and we're going to keep that going. We're going to routinely have that part of the show. All right, guys, go Phils, and we'll see you soon.